Hello and welcome back to Ask the Accountant Pitstop Podcast, Engager Labs 2025. We're here for another Pitstop podcast. You asked for these, we keep delivering. And remember, if you want more of these, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. Today we have Charlie. Charlie, you're finally here on the famous couch, having the conversation with us, talking to us about your views. Got a feeling there's going to be a few contentious subjects that we're going to cover, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. So first and foremost, Charlie, who are you, what do you do, and why the hell are you here?
I am Charlie Carne. I'm a chartered accountant based in West London, looking after a client base of predominantly creative, or clients in the creative industry, should we say.
Yep.
A lot of music, PR, design, writers, producers, all sorts.
And it's primarily you, but you have a few kind of staff, don't you?
So I have at the moment about 2.5 staff.
Nice.
No longer have an office since COVID. No longer have an office. We all work remotely. That works very, very well. Yeah.
Loving it. So this is quite a big moment, I think, for us, right? Like Engager Labs, they're mates of ours. When they approached you and said they were going to do an event, not sure what your first reaction was, but mine was not this. But what's your first reaction to this?
This is amazingly impressive, isn't it? No, I agree with you. I mean, I've known the guys from Engager. Well, I've known Johann for a long time, and Andy for quite a while. They have built a business, built it in the practice management space so much quicker than any of the others did. Yeah. I mean, previously the companies have been sold, the accountancy manager, the Centre, the Pixie, and all these kind of companies. And Engager's they've done it right, haven't they? I mean, it's
community driven, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's and for anybody who is looking at Engager, check out their Facebook group. It's extraordinary. It very much is a community. People asking questions all the time, people helping each other, but as well as Johann and the team from Engager answering all the time. And that, I think, is what works very well for multiple reasons. I mean, first of all, you ask a question, you're going to get an answer really quickly from people who know what they're doing and have done it themselves in their own practice. But it also builds, it makes the product much better because they are hearing firsthand from the users, oh, this doesn't work very well.
Yeah, exactly.
A month later, it's in the system.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. I think they built an absolutely incredible product. And this event, for those of you out there in podcast land, I mean, we're at the ACC in Liverpool, which is where they held, I discovered, where they held the Labour Party conference.
It was.
I think it was last year. I'm staying in the same hotel that Keir Starmer stayed in. I don't know if I'm in his room, but...
Did he leave you anything?
He left a laptop behind. I don't know. It says property of Keir. I don't know. This is really impressive. It's a fantastic event. And they got about 10 or 12 companies here, some of whom they work directly with.
Yep.
Adfin and Zama and Xenon and anything beginning with X and companies like that. And it's a really, really good event. I mean, this is how events, certainly the smaller kind of events, this is how they should be. It's
and you go to a lot of events, right? Like you
God,
pretty much, unless it's north, you're there.
Well, I mean,
right?
I got vertigo on the train up here to Liverpool because I rarely escape the M25, rarely escape the North Circular, to be honest. Coming up here was quite frightening. I had someone help me on the train and make sure that I was safe,
Oxygen mask halfway through, was it?
Yeah. I'm dreading because Andy Wainwright, for those of you who know Andy Wainwright, is a professional scouser and one of the owners of Engager. He's got wigs and everything set up for me. For the whole,
just for you as well.
No, well, there's a few of them, so I reckon we should go to the Advent party dressed up. I think as the Scousers from was it the Harry Enfield show?
That's the one.
So I'm looking forward to that later. Yeah.
So you've stolen my next question. What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, that's what I'm looking forward to is the Advent party and dressing up as a AAA Scouser.
Now
they do, don't they?
Even though you go to so many events, it's safe to say that. You can get to where we love Accountex. Accountex is an amazing event, but it is so overwhelming. It's so difficult to go through and find the right one, right?
Yeah.
Famously for you, you didn't know of Apron at that point, right?
No, you introduced me to
because you had to cut through all of the...
you introduced me to them.
Or everything else to find, the quality that's there. The beauty about this one is you pretty much trust that the guys have picked the right vendors, right?
Absolutely.
If you've got a problem, you've got an issue, you've got something else, whoever's here is going to be, if not best in class, close to best in class, right?
Oh,
I
absolutely
think
right.
That's an important part of it.
Again, it's because the guys behind this, whether it's Johann, whether it's Andy, and the others, particularly those two, though, of course, they run their own practices.
Yeah.
So they know what a small practice needs. So, I mean, there's companies I've been, you mentioned Apron that I've been using for a couple of years now that is beyond fantastic.
Yeah.
Game-changing software. It's absolutely fantastic. There's newcomers, certainly new to me. I mean, they are relatively newcomers anyway. Adfin, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been looking at. I've not used it yet, but I very much will use it. That they've got a fantastic product. One I hadn't heard of before, I should have heard of. I've just saw today, RQ.
RQ, yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm a member of the ICAW. They're ICAW approved, I'm told. It's about finding referral partners, wealth managers or mortgage brokers or pensions advisors, IFAs, all that kind of stuff, through a platform where your referrals are tracked. If there's a fee basis, that's all tracked, and the clients are informed. The client have access to the portal, so you're fully compliant with ICAW regulations. And so that's a new product to me that I will definitely be taking a look at. Well, as I say, about 10 or 12 companies here, and they are, very much best in breed. And for me, that's what it's all about.
And it's stamp approval, right? That's
very much. Absolutely.
As accountants, we need that, right? We need that.
Yeah, I mean,
we've picked the right side here.
We don't have the time as a small, certainly I don't, as a small practice to research everything. But as you said, I go to all these events. I am aware of all the companies in the marketplace.
But even you're struggling to know what's the right one for this.
Yeah. So to have people say, look, these are the best. Obviously, I'll do my own due diligence, but to narrow it down and go, actually, that does fix a problem I've had for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's going to work.
Yeah.
Because also, you can see them at Accountix or wherever, haven't heard of them before. Oh, that looks like it's going to work. But actually, are they any good? Are they reliable? Do other people like them? Well, yeah, because they picked them and brought them into this show.
To get a much more opportunity to talk to them here, right? There's not. I mean, the queues for Apron back in any other one, you've no chance you can actually properly speak to them, right? It's going to be a quick shake hand, grab the coffee, and off you go.
Yeah, definitely grab the coffee. Yeah.
Here, you actually have a proper chance to have a proper conversation, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a few events I've been to in the past that are very small, but the big ones, whether it's Accountix or DAS, Fab is slightly smaller in is it Birmingham or Coventry? I can't remember. Birmingham was Coventry years ago before it was called Fab. That's also quite a nice event. That's smaller and easier to get around. But yeah, I mean, those big events, I go to them. They're great, but they are overwhelming.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you're a bit of a serial event connoisseur, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you invested a lot of time.
An event tart.
Event tart.
Am I allowed to say that?
Maybe you are allowed to say. I don't
know if I'm allowed to say that.
I don't know. But event tart, whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah.
How do you take action from an event like this? Because we invest our time, money, resources to come to these sort of things. What do you do to make sure that you come away from this knowing that was worth my time? That is why I came to this event.
One of the things I do is I take notes, not copious notes, but I make notes during the event of who I've seen, what I've spoken about, the things that grabbed my attention. Because after you've seen 10, 20, 30, 40 people,
that's the problem, right?
Oh, hang on, who was that guy I spoke to? There was that software that did something, and I make a note.
Yeah.
So I can follow up afterwards with, I mean, normally not that many I actually follow up on. Most of the people I'm talking to, it's just about keeping my knowledge of the industry, my knowledge of, particularly when it comes to software vendors, as opposed to some of the big events where they have, lectures and things as well, which is very different. But talking to software vendors and so on, it's about keeping my knowledge of what's in the marketplace. But the 5 or 6 people that really, like I'd say, probably RQ today is the new one to me that I haven't seen before. I will follow up because I made a note. Who did I speak to?
Yeah.
I've got their email. I'll chase them up afterwards.
I love it. So with the industry, what do you love about it? What is that part that you just so glad that you're an accountant in this industry? What is it that makes you happy? Wow. Or is there anything?
Wow. Well, do you know what it is? It's interesting. I mean, I've been an accountant for a very, very, very long time. I'm a fair bit older than you. And I said to somebody at some event last year, when I used to go to accounting events, it was basically a bunch of middle-aged white men in suits and ties.
Yep.
And they were mostly dreadfully dull. It wasn't about software. Then software started to come in some years ago. There'd be some, because they had money, so therefore, whether it was the ICAW or whoever it was, would get them to sponsor something and stick a little stand in the corner. It was very, very, very traditional and relatively dull, but some useful information to be gleaned from these events. Once the software vendors started to come in, it changed. It's a bunch of people. I mean, I guess it's how the world is going anyway, but people are dressed in, jeans and T-shirts and whatever. It's relaxed, but also it's not just that, but the attitude of people, the mindset is completely different. I come to these events and I genuinely look forward to seeing people.
Yeah.
It's a laugh. I mean, it genuinely is a laugh. I walk around, there's people I know, we have a laugh, and yeah, we're talking about the industry, we're talking about issues, we're talking about software, all these different things.
Yeah.
But it is a laugh. And I can't say that going to these events 15, 20 years ago was a
Would have
laugh.
been like that.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was important and it was useful.
You were just doing it because you had to, right?
Very rarely was it fun.
Yeah.
It's completely changed and for the better. And the industry also is attracting, there's a lot of people coming to accountancy now, particularly thinking of younger people in their early 20s and so on, whether it's straight out of school or out of university, who would never have gone into accountancy 20 years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they saw the white, middle-aged men in suits.
Going to these boring events.
That's not me.
Yeah.
But now it's completely different. It really is. It is completely different profession.
And we need it, right? The profession needs it. We need that injection. We need that.
It needed innovation. It needed a kick up the arse. It's had a good kick up the arse. And also, because of software, though, of course, and even more in the last few years with AI and things transforming it immeasurably, the work is actually becoming a lot more fun. Any non-accountants who might stumble across this podcast by accident, how can accountancy be fun? But actually, it's because the boring stuff is now being so automated.
Yep.
I mean, there is an awful lot of boring stuff, but that is being more and more and more automated. And because you're using fun tools to help you do this stuff, and you do it very quickly, and you do it in a fun way. I was just saying earlier, was talking about gamifying some of the stuff you're doing, and that makes it fun.
Yeah.
It does almost feel like you're kind of playing a game at times. The industry is utterly transformed.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's what you love about it. But what would you change? What is there? What grinds your gears about the industry at the moment?
Well, there's still a lot of traditions that need to be cleared out, a lot of cobwebs and things possibly to get rid of. Well, this is, I mean, it's probably not at all contentious to say HMRC. I think they need to employ some people who genuinely understand what it's like to be. They need to, I mean, they've always employed, well, actually more people have gone from HMRC to the accountancy profession.
Yeah.
But if they could get more going in the other direction, you could explain to HMRC that the vast majority of us in the profession genuinely want to help them and help our clients. We're not in the business of trying to cheat taxes because if we get caught, it's the end of our careers.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not, we want to do things right. And when HMRC don't help us to help our clients, when they say, oh, well, this bit of information you can only get through the client's direct login, not through the accountant's login, or you can't email us, you've got to send us a letter which will sit in our post room for 7 weeks before we even take a look at it.
It's 7 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff needs to change. I mean, one of the things I was glad of some years ago is they announced, with MTD and things like that they weren't going to develop their own software. And a lot of accounts complaining, oh, why? Because we're going to have to pay third parties. No, HMRC are not a software development business. They should not be
Proven
developing
time
software.
and time again, they are not. Yeah.
There is already software out there that is close to free. And there will be more that they'll offer adverts and all sorts of other ways in which they can offer it for free, as everything is, as well as the stuff where you can pay for it. So if you've got a small bit practice or you've got small clients who don't want to pay for anything, there will be stuff that does that. HMRC shouldn't be doing that. So I think that was absolutely the right decision. But they need to understand that we are here to help them get things right. We want our clients to do things right. So allow us. And occasionally, there are people I deal with at HMRC who are helpful, who recognize that, and that's great, but it's a rarity.
Yeah, 100%. And I just feel like we take one step forward and 2 steps back to him at the moment. One step forward, 2 steps back, and it's just, it's infuriating, isn't it? All right, let's talk about something else, and let's talk about your tech stack. So if I gave you a time machine now, and I gave you the opportunity to go back 12 months to your past self, and you had the chance to go back and tell your past self about one piece of technology. It could be a gadget, an app, a piece of software, whatever it is, right? What one piece of technology would you send back to your past self? Because it's been a game changer. Has changed the way that you've helped your clients or yourself or run your practice, or even if it's just something, helped your health or whatever it's going to be. What is that one piece of tech you'd send back?
Can I answer that in a couple of stages? Can I go back even more? So if you asked me that 5 years ago,
okay, interesting.
5 years ago, I would have said the piece of software that I just introduced before that I thought was brilliant was Inform Direct.
For
company secretarial. I'm hoping I can say the same thing. I mean, Inform Direct is still brilliant software. Absolutely love it.
It is.
I really hope that in the next 3 years it remains so, because they got bought by Bright, and I hope that Bright keep it as good as it is, because Inform Direct is the best company secretarial software out there. It is fantastic and dirt cheap. The next one after that was the one we mentioned earlier, was Apron, that you introduced me to at Accountex a couple of years ago. And Apron, utterly game-changing, really, really game-changing. It took over. I used to use Receipt Bank before it was Dext years ago. Then I used Auto Entry. I did a bit on Pleo. I did a bit on, I even tried, was it HubDoc? A few of them. With Zero, Pod Zero now, isn't it? But Apron blows all of them out of the water. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic. And then the latest one, which I signed up for recently, and I'm about to start using, is the reason we're all here, is Engager. I've not previously used practice management software. I've looked at various tools over the years and and ahed about which was right. But what I've seen of Engager, it really is. It's learned from all of the previous mistakes, all of the other practice management software, and it is fantastic. So, and that is my main change this year, is to implement that over the next couple of months. Because it is truly, truly fantastic.
And how are you looking to tackle it? Are you bringing in third-party help, or are you doing it yourself?
I had a little drink last night with a couple of the guys from Engager, and I'm going to have a call on Friday with one of them. But I did have a Zoom call late last year with somebody who's a very experienced Engager user, uses it in her own practice. And I'll try doing the first bits myself, but I think if I get unstuck, and I probably will, I will get her help in. I need to push, and I know myself. If I don't, I'll get the basic bits done, and the other bits I find a little bit complicated, oh, well, I'll put that off, and then I'll put that off, and then I'll put that. And you pay somebody a bit of money, just get it done.
Get it done.
It's going to save time, so I will probably end up doing that.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
We need to find someone for admin as well, because that's a different story for a different day. But yeah.
Yes. No. Definitely. Admin is the next as well. Yeah.
So that was 12 months back. What about we look at 12 months forward? The little word that keeps popping up. I think you've even said it yourself today, called AI.
Oh yeah.
Now, I think we're safe to say it's not a fad. I think that's fair. That's a fair assumption.
It's definitely not a fad. Yes.
But where do you see it? Like 12 months time, are you seeing it as completely changing the game? Do you think it's just going to be a cool tool to use? Do you think we'll even at 12 months time even scratch the surface? What's your hunch about it all?
12 months time, if it's utterly transformed from where we are now, it will be utterly transformed again. Another 12 and 36 months after that. It is utterly changing the world. I was at a board meeting yesterday of a long time client of mine that's in the music industry, and they were talking about AI in the music industry, and probably people have been heard recently about, I was in the papers today, like Paul McCartney, all sorts of other people signing some, thing, getting government to make sure that they don't allow AI companies to. And, a year ago, less than a year ago, I thought, AI, okay, I can fully understand how it's going to change accountants, maybe drafting contracts for lawyers, things like that. At least the creatives, a lot of people I work with are creatives. They're not going to be impacted. Hadn't occurred to me. AI can create a new Taylor Swift song. Let's be honest, it ain't as good as a Taylor Swift song. But let's say you're a commercial organization and you're thinking of using a Taylor Swift song, which is extremely expensive to use in your ad but you can get something that sounds a bit like Taylor Swift in the background, done by AI for next to nothing.
You're going to do that option most of them, aren't you?
AI is going to change everything. But in our space, in the accounting space, it's already starting to change things. I think you've got to be very, very careful how you use it. It depends what you're using it for, to help you write emails. I've seen it already working. For example, in Apron, they started to use the very basics of it to automatically work out what to add as descriptions when it codes up an invoice, for example. There's a guy I met last year, I think I met him at DAS last year, digital accounting show. At the time, he and his business partner, I think they've been out of university for about 5 minutes, but two very, very, very bright guys. And they were trying to work out what space to go in, and they showed me some ideas of what they could do with AI. They've in less than a year, where they've gone is incredible, what they're starting to do. I've got a meeting with him in a couple of weeks to look at where he's going with it. It is utterly going to transform this industry. And what I would say to anybody out there who is concerned about it or puts their head in the sand about it, you need to be aware of what's going on, because AI will transform what we do, but like most things, it is not going to destroy what we do. It will change the way that we do it. And if you remain up to date as to what it's capable of doing and how it can help you, you're not going to lose work, but you will find that your work becomes more interesting, more valuable, therefore more profitable. So you will do more interesting work and you will make more money, and you will lose a lot of the boring, basic number crunching, dull work that doesn't pay very well, and instead be able to use this software, because clients won't understand how to use stuff like that and do things.
Yeah.
And because you've got the experience of working across lots of clients and so on, you will be able to use this software to utterly transform your practice and provide really valuable advice for your clients, which will make you more profitable.
More rewarding as well,
Much more rewarding. It's more rewarding for you, more rewarding for the clients. Will take less time. You'll have a better work-life balance, and you'll probably make more money, and your clients will love you more as well.
Yeah.
Because you're providing not just basic compliance, but providing some actual advice that the client goes, oh, hang on, that hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah,
That's really useful.
Yeah, just can't come soon enough in some circumstances, right?
We don't want change to be too fast.
Yeah.
Then it'll leave too many of us behind. I think the pace of change at the moment is probably, certainly I could just about keep pace with it. So I'm quite happy with the pace.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, this is a Pitstop podcast, which means that we fortunately have to bring it an end here. But I think we've got to make sure you come as a cool friend at some point. Let's get down to the Brewdog. Let's have a beer. Let's figure out. Tell us your story. Go through from start to finish. I think there's a lot to unpack there.
Well, I imagine I must be a cool fan because I've got one of the car. I've got one of your,
that's
one of your
host,
Top Trumps cards.
That's a host.
Oh, is it?
The cool friends card. You could be silver. You could have a shiny.
That's even more important than being a host. Look at that. I'm excited now.
So there we are. Thank you so much for giving up your time. Thank you for coming along on our Pitstop podcast. Use any of the cameras there to promote, push. The floor is yours to explain where people can find you.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. It's Charlie Carne, spelled C-A-R-N-E. The one area where, if you are a QuickBooks user, I would say I have a Facebook group for QuickBooks Pro Advisors. So if you are a QuickBooks Pro Advisor, do come along and join us on there. We've got about 900 or so members at the moment. Love to increase the membership. It enables that we sort of discuss issues with each other. It also, by being a lot of us on there, we're able to have a little bit of pushback, I hope, with Intuit and try to offer an opinion of a significant group of pro advisors to Intuit. So look for QuickBooks Pro Advisor group on Facebook, and hope to see you there.
Definitely. I'm part of it. Highly recommend it. Get yourself in there and go from there. So, Charlie, again, thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor to have you on this sofa.
Thank you very much.
Talking all about the world of accountancy at Pitstop Podcasts Engager 2025. But don't forget, we've got more content coming your way. The grid walk is not to be missed from this event. And we've got some more great guests coming up as well. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And we will see you in a video very, very soon. Oh, and we're on a podcast together, right?
We're doing one, yeah,
QuickBooks
absolutely.
Labs.
Yeah, QuickBooks Labs. Yeah, we do QuickBooks Labs together.
Yeah.
I knew I recognised you from somewhere. Yeah.
We're in person.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, QuickBooks Labs will be on there once a month talking to you all things about QuickBooks. So see you then.